Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we will see what is useMemo. So useMemo is something which is used for the memorized value. Okay, so sometimes in your application you have in your component you have two different features or two different uh, processes running on two different calculations you have to do. Okay, in that scenarios, if you are writing one specific logic and the other specific logic is not dependent upon one thing, then also it recalculates that things and the application can get slower. Okay, so means we can say uh, we can cache the value when something, let's say if you want to calculate the factorial, if the number is changed, then the number which we supposed to through which we supposed to calculate the factorial, if that number is changed, then only we should recalculate the factorial or maybe some other functionalities. Okay, some other calculation if you want to do that kind of things can be done through the use memo. So normally what happens if you don't use the use memo hook, then if no, if you have a button and if you have a text box where you are changing the value, okay, so even if you are if the button is not relevant calculate the factorial, then also factorial is getting calculated again because the component is updated. So these kind of things should not happen. So we can avoid that using the use memo. So use memo, what is use memo? Use memo hook returns a memorized value. The use memo hook only runs when one of its dependency updated. So something through which we are calculating an object or any value, then only the use memo hook should run. Okay, uh, and it is used to improve the performance of our application. Okay, so now let's get started. Let's see how the use memo hook works. So for that, let's start and uh, let's say I'll be adding blocks. Okay, so for that, what I will do, I will need an use state, or I will need an state to handle the blocks. Okay, let's have blocks variable, and there is a method to add the blocks. Okay, use state hook I'm using over here, and the type of it will be string of array. If you're not aware about the use state hook, you can check out my other video where I have explained what is use state hook. Okay, now let's take, okay, counter, okay, and set counter, use state, number, default value is 0. Okay, now let's add a button to add the blocks. Okay, here I think I forgot to add the default value, so it's empty array. And what we'll do here, I'll just say blocks dot map arrow function. In here I'll say block comma index. Okay, and here I'll just add a UL tag over here, unordered list. And here I will return allied tag. I'll say block. If you're not aware about the map function also, I'll put a separate video on this for the map method, which is available into the JavaScript, and we can discuss about it. Okay, here I think I forgot closing curly braces. Okay, now it's here. One more thing which we need to add, I'll just show you what happens now. I think we need to say npm start. So we can just see the changes side by side. I'll just say npm start. Here currently there is nothing added. Okay, here also nothing is there, but let's add a button. Okay, here I'll add a br tag so that there will be a line break. I'll add a button, type equals to button, value equals to add block. Okay, and let's add a method const on add block and click arrow function curly braces. Okay, here I'll say set. Before setting the blocks, I'll add create new blocks. So here I will use, I'll say new blocks equals to arrow and spread operator blocks and then new block, and here I'll say set blocks new blocks. So why I'm doing this, why I'm using creating a new object. Okay, so because and using the spread operator is like it should not create a shallow copy so that it should not add a reference to it. Hence I'm creating. So we'll check the things also in the upcoming videos, that what is shallow copy and what is deep copy. So for currently you can just consider it like, if you're not aware, this it will create a, in we have two different types, reference types and value types here. Uh, Sometimes it copies the reference of the existing variables. It does not create a new element. So hence array is a reference type. So we should not create a object, means we should not refer to the same object. Hence we are creating the new array and we are just passing it to the set blocks. Okay. Now I'll say on add block click. I'll just pass it over here on click. Okay. Let's see now. Okay, we have a button over here and here I am not at. Okay, I'll just open the console over here. Okay, I'll say add block. Okay, here it is displayed. As many as time I'll add, the blocks is displayed. But there is a one warning that each child in a list should have a unique prop. So what is this issue? So whenever you are writing this kind of code where you are looping over the elements, okay, you are generating the elements dynamically using the loop, you must add a key prop, okay, or attribute we can say, which will be like, we can say currently we will pass just this index value. So this will be a unique to all. So React can identify every element. Now I will see add block, see warning on. So you can check this thing. Okay, blocks are adding. Okay, now we will add one more button and the method to increment the counter. So add br tag. Okay, here I'll say input type equals to button, value equals to plus. Okay, so like this, I'll say increment so that we can get to them. Okay, now what I'll do, I'll write one more method here. Const on increment click equals to arrow function. Okay, here I'll say set counter equals to counter plus one, and I'll just add this method over here on click equals to on increment click. Okay, now I'll say br again break statement counter is counter. Okay, let's see if that works fine. 2 3 4 5. Okay, blog is also adding. Okay, now we'll, let's say we have some calculation, a very kind of a calculation which is taking a longer time to execute. So let's say I will write a method, expensive calculation. Okay, Here I'll take a number. Okay, we are actually what we'll do here, we'll take one variable sum equals to 0, and I'll say for let I equals to 0, I less than 1, 3, how many days? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, random value so that it will take a large amount of time. Sum equals to sum plus I, and I'll just return this sum. Okay, now we can take this value and let's say we have some equation. Cost calculated value equals to expensive calculation, and here we are passing the counter value. Okay, now let's see what happens. Refresh the page. Okay, so now I just click on increment button, plus button. There is some lag over here. Okay, see, if you try to click on add block button, then also there is a lag because the expensive calculation method is taking a larger amount of time to calculate. Okay, if you write a method also, if you just add a console over here, that expensive calculation, and we will just refresh the page. Okay, you can see over here that when I click plus, there is this log is printed that expensive calculation is there and it is taking a time. Same case for the add block, it is taking some time. There is some lag over here. So even the add block button doesn't actually related to this calculation, whatever the complex calculation which we are doing, and which is taking a lot of amount of time. The add block button doesn't actually care about it. Still, it is actually taking time and it is lagging over here. How we can avoid this? The lag, if there is a lag due to some complex things, it should only appear when we are clicking on the increment button. It should not appear when we are trying to click on the add block button. So how we can avoid that? We can avoid that using the use memo hook. So for that purpose, let's again, I'll show you one more thing, one more time, that when I click on plus, this is expensive calculation log is printed. Okay, now I'll just clear it. Again, when I click on the add block button, this method got called and expensive calculation is printed. Okay, now what we will do over here, I'll just add a use memo hook. Okay, here I'll say arrow function. Okay, and I'll just return this value, okay, whatever the expensive calculation I'm doing. And here I will say counter. Okay, so what it is doing, it will only execute whenever the counter is changed, not when the tool is changed. Okay, now let's see again. Just refresh the page. Okay, clear the console. Now click on the plus button. The log is printed. Okay, there was a log. There was a lag. Okay, I'll just clear it again. Now I'll click on the add block button. It's immediately added, and there is nothing printed over here. That means the method is not get called because there is no relation between the add block button and the expensive calculation method. Hence, it's free upon that method and it is not getting called on everything. It is only get called when I'm clicking on the plus button. Okay, so this is what the use memo hook is. It is used to improve the performance. Here we have improved the performance using the use memo hook. How we have improved it? That whatever the value is true, whatever the value we are calculating, it should only be calculated whenever the dependent values are changed. So that's what. And this use memo hook comes under the React library. Okay, so you should import it from here. So just keep this thing in mind. Okay, in the next videos, in the upcoming videos, we will see what is map. Okay, and use state hook related video is already there, so you can check out that. Okay, yeah, thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe my uh, channel. Okay, if you like this video, just press a like button and share this video with others, and please subscribe my channel. Thank you.